Welcome back to Inside the Bunker. I am your host, Chris Carter. I have Jessica Morgan with me, and our special guest today for episode 2 is Mr. Abel Zerai. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you two?
Doing great. So nice to have you here and talk to you. And
right. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. You were one of the first people to come onto the project. And that was, we started over 3 years ago now. And the scene that, in the episode we're going to talk about tonight, we're introduced to your character, to Daniel, to Sam, everybody that kind of is in the whole series we meet in this episode. So tell us, because for the people that don't know, how did Abel kind of get involved with Omega? Jessica, you can kind of.
I was gonna say me and Abel, we went to Arizona State University together. We were both in the theater program and specifically the acting program. And I was gonna say I just had a few classes with him, of course, and then by our senior year, we decided to group up. I think Abel approached me and was like, "Hey, we're kind of like making a group and doing a thing and going to create a show together." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And it was really, I can't say enough good things about the experience that me and Abel and the rest of our group went through together, because it was very personal to us, our stories and everything. And it was just a beautiful project by the end of it. I was just so proud of that thing still.
So did you come to LA right after your senior year? Was it within the year?
No, I was within like a year and a half. Ended up moving to the Bay Area first and was there for a little bit, and then came to Los Angeles, like just this place that always called me and things I always want to do were here. And just this whole experience, like working with y'all, and that was my first, I think, like film project I did in Los Angeles. And I was like, I was so excited that it was like with my friends and like people I knew. So definitely excited for that. And I don't know, LA is just like a tornado. Like there's so much stuff spinning in every direction, and you have to constantly like work around, your schedule or things just to find like your artistry or creativity. And just seeing you guys always working, putting things out, I was like, I know this project's gonna come out, and just gotta give it my all. And I think I remember texting you once, Chris, like, "Hey, I'm so sorry I gave a bad performance." And you're like, "No, man, don't worry. It's just taking a little extra time. Don't worry. You sure you got it?" And I was just like freaking out, like, was it me?
Oh my gosh. These moments that we have as actors when we're just suddenly like, oh God, like, this is the reason. I must be the reason that this isn't working, or like whatever, you know what I mean? And you're like, of course you have no idea.
Sometimes that's just the process. Like life happens, things, come around, and the ultimate thing is just getting it out there. And I've just been showing like every Friday, just whoever's around, I'm like, all right, sit down, this is episode 4, this is episode 5, like we're gonna watch it, we're gonna tune in. So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool, man. Thank you for that. And it's funny, I remember that. I clearly remember you sending me that text message, and I'm thinking I didn't know what you were talking about. Like I was wondering if somebody had said something, and I'm like, what's going on? Because that never came up. It was always an issue of scheduling. I mean, at one point in time, Brittany got hurt, and then Jim got hurt, and then we lost a location, and then locations got too expensive. So it was always this weird juggling act. And, episode 2, I mean, really, that's the introduction to you and Daniel's character. And I think that those two guys are the guys that I related to, but I want to get your read on that. And Jessica's, loves to say that, a UFO. What do you say, Jessica? That being a what is it?
Malik. Yeah. So Malik is because Chris loves to call him a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, that has like a negative connotation to it a little bit. And I was like, I don't think Malik like thinks of it like that. I think he's more of like he's like an enthusiast of like the unknown, or like the, you know what I mean? Like I feel like he's like more of an enthusiast about the undiscovered, the unknown, the like otherworldly, like these kind of things. It's sort of the way that I always like kind of look at him.
No, definitely like someone who like does the research to understand it. And like can always bring it up, but also like I feel like at times doesn't 100% believe it until he sees it. He's just prepared for it. It's just like that's the kind of like mentality. Like I know I think it exists. I've read everything that like proves it to be factual, but when things like hit the fan, it's like, oh crap, like it is real. Like you answer the phone, you need to like do your thing. And so it's just kind of like no, this character too was like just so much fun filming it. And in episode 2, I remember like we had that small like office space within like that building, and some of those like complications of like kind of like working around with the light and the camera. And it was like my first time kind of being on a film set in a long time. So it was like really quick introduction of like, okay, you need to be prepared for like any type of surrounding scenario, and working with the, you two and like the talent that was in the cast. Like it just made it easy to kind of like fall into character and allow everybody to kind of like vibe off each other and keep like building this character Malik as I was like still like learning my lines and like putting it through. So it's definitely like a really fun experience, and one of the characters like I've been most excited about to kind of like see, finally like out there.
Yeah, I think Chris like highly relates to Malik. I think he took a lot of he took a lot of Malik out of himself.
Like it's funny, like all those things that Daniel says the Malik is, I am totally that guy. And so no, but that's a great read on it too, about where you're like he's interested in it, he'll do the research and then he'll make a decision, right? It's like, because he's a smart guy, he's an engineer, so he's not just going to take things at face value. There needs to be some scientific method applied to it, and I think that's important. And I'm so glad you said that, because I think a lot of people like preppers or like conspiracy theorists or whatever, like they get kind of labeled like just guys who will be like, oh well, I heard this, so therefore it's true. But no, there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of these dudes are ex-scientists and whatnot, and so they put a lot of time into the research, and it's like, well, this is why I believe it's factual. And so I'm really glad you said that, because that gives me the idea that you're read on the character, and it always came through when we were watching it, but like the work that you put in behind it is phenomenal. So I'm so glad you said that.
I feel like that's always the responsibility of the actor, is kind of like spend the time doing the work on the personal connections and like forming or crafting the entire character with the material in front of you that like is second nature, and I remember like writing like lines on like note cards and trying to like use my note cards like, okay, this is somebody who always has like a pen and paper in his hand, always like is ready taking notes, or always notating different things. Like you could be punching your phone, but like just the physical of like holding something in your hands that like you can create or scratch or like figure out an equation. So it was just something like I carried around with me, and then like it just seamlessly worked within the character work I was doing for it as well.
And you bring up the set. You're right. That was a small set, and that was one of those things. That was like a business center that was renting out their conference room, and we were trying to fake it to be like the library, because we have that shot of the front of a library, and then we jump to movie magic, the inside of this conference room, and it's like a library room, and so it's you and Daniel in there, and so we've got this big camera, and the room. You're right. The room isn't very big. It's maybe the size of a small kitchen, and we've got 3 dudes. We've got 2 camera person, a sound person, an AD, a China ball that we're lighting the situation with. So it was just, to have a lot. And then I remember the air conditioning, which, for people may not know, that you can't run the air conditioning when we're trying to get good audio. And we've got 7 people in the
that feels like the biggest issue in Los Angeles. Is like, no matter where you're filming, there's sound somewhere, like all the time.
Sound is an issue, and you just got to work past it.
It's just constantly like it's helicopter, then like ambulance, and then a neighbor and a dog, and then it's like all of a sudden the birds are really loud. And it's like, how many things exist in like 2 minutes? Like,
I know. As soon as you call action, basically, you're like, and here's something else. Like,
it's completely quiet for half an hour, 45 minutes, but like nothing
while you're setting up.
I'm so glad you said that, because a random train from like 10 miles away, you'll catch on audio. It's like, we need to hold. And so it's true. All these stupid little complications that, that when you're going about your normal day, you don't really register. But as soon as you put headphones on and, there's someone trying to capture audio, then it's like, oh my God, we have to wait. That day, I remember it well. I mean, everybody did so good. And I don't think we had a table read with you, Brittany, and Jim at one point. I think, did you guys meet beforehand, or did you guys meet there?
I thought that was our second filming day, because I remember we filmed inside your house to begin with, because you're about to move. And
I was gonna say, I remember we filmed, and we'll find out later, but it's like way out of sequence for some things. You know what I mean? So
like, you're right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I guess like one little Easter egg that like if people are watching, what they can notice is I was freaking out by like my beard length and like what it was. I was like, I don't remember. I need to get a cut. And I was like, I hope it's the right size. And then like watching it back, I was like, okay, yeah, there's a difference in beards. I was like, okay, time has passed. Maybe we'll just look at it that way. Like that's a little Easter egg from the rival episode to one of them.
It's funny though, we've been like, you know, especially when time passes so long for this stuff, which is absolutely true. We were in like a whole nother house for the first, I guess, the scenes that you see Sam in basically all the time, her roommate. That's a whole house. And then it's like we move somewhere else and then like into a smaller apartment and then happen to have you there for something hopefully we'll see coming up.
But like applaud to you guys, like to be able to like just reshape the story then and like okay, we're gonna use it as multiple locations, like this is one character's house and this is another character's house. It's like, so like it totally just fits.
You helped us out on another episode and you actually stick around to be an extra, like just because, you know, I mean, that's and you know, that's the kind of thing that we appreciate, because then anytime you have an extra hand or an extra body, it raises the production value. It speeds up your workflow. You know, I don't want to give too much away to that episode, but that's another Easter egg too, that you are in fact in another episode.
See if the audience can find out.
Right.
See if they notice.
And I remember that location, like that was not too far from where I stand, like in near downtown LA.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The studio is really cool. Like, that studio is really cool.
The studio is cool.
Yeah.
I'm a lot like Malik, and all my other guy friends are a lot like Daniel, right? Like this, you know, do you have friends that you converse, maybe not like that conversation with, but you know what I mean? Like that situation when you're sitting and talking to just one of your guys.
Yeah. In regards to just kind of someone who like does the research into those theories, like, yeah, definitely have someone in my life who's that way. I think at times though, they're focusing on like the weird like dark web, like bro, there's way too many question marks there. Like like I can like amuse you for a little bit just because like, you know, we're shooting the shit, but after a while it's like, no, like airplanes in the sky are not the ones creating clouds. Like that's not how it works. Like, but you know, so I definitely have like those people in my life, and I feel like at times too, like I'm a big music fanatic. So when I was younger, I used to believe in like, oh, the Illuminati exists and they're the ones who control like those musicians, and you gotta like lose a family member in order to become rich and famous. And I don't know, I think over age I kind of fall in between a little bit myself, like a combination of Daniel and Malik.
Yeah.
But like there's things you can convince me, and then there's things where I'm like, no, that was cool in high school. You know, I'm a different person now.
It's funny, the more people you have on set, the more fun that time is, but there's this counterbalance because it's also more stressful because you have to get coverage right now. Instead of getting 2 people, you know, with our standard 2-shot over the shoulder, now you have 3 people, and it's like so much harder to get 3 people on coverage than it is 2 and make it more interesting. So it's funny. I remember those days, and I remember having a really fun time joking and setting up. But when we were rolling, I was always stressed out. I'm like, oh shit. So, but I love shooting on location. I mean, it's stressful, but it's fun. You get to go in there, you set up. And so as an actor, does that help, or does that really is it negligible when you get to, if you're shooting like at someone's house or if you're in like a location? Does it matter? Does it affect your performance? Does it kind of really hone you in on the character, the situation, or is it like meh?
The first location at your old place, like that production value that like just existed within that place, like was really like great and easy to like, okay. And also like me not being familiar with the place, I was like, yeah, you know, I can believe this is, you know, the home of one of the characters, and like I can totally throw myself into it. And I think that's aspect of what I've like tried to bring, you know, to any production or any set, is just kind of do the work beforehand. And there's definitely been moments where I've been like riled and like, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready, prepared for like the lights to be that bright or these things. But that was definitely like when I was like learning, and then being able to be on set with you two, like I felt like I was able to be comfortable because I was also trusting of those around me. And you know, I think trust in the people we're working with is the most important thing, you know, for an actor, someone who's like trying to share a piece of themselves and share a piece of a story that's being written. Is kind of like, can you feel comfortable around those around you
Mhm.
in order to deliver the performance that's necessary to tell the story. So yeah, no, it's and you guys definitely make it like very comforting, like to work around. So
Thank you, man.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think acting is, it's one of those things where you have to be okay to be vulnerable at times. And yeah, being comfortable and you know, try to have as least stress as possible on you during that time is so important. You know, because it's we're all human. We all get those nerves. We all get, you know, like these get inside our heads too much. And as an actor, it's like, yo, you're everything on camera. Like you're selling everything. So I'm like, if you have any of those like nerves going on or any of that thinking about, oh shit, am I doing my job, as opposed to just thinking about like the moment.
I don't know. I think that's the most fun as an actor, is like when you get to just fall into it and just kind of like enjoy yourself and discover new things about the character during the scene. Like, oh, I like the way I said that, you know, I'm going to keep doing that. And then kind of add this, like,
good.
you know, so yeah.
Yeah, we're really lucky that with this cast, I think it's funny. Like, of course you want to work with your friends. Of course you want to work with people you like and stuff.
Yeah.
But our friends happen to be really talented, and that's kind of really awesome for us. That it's like, hey, like, and everybody I feel like in this too, I feel like was cast really well. Yeah, which is exciting. Freaking Kara's in this, which also we go back to ASU too.
Yeah.
I should drop that. Yeah, I was gonna say Sam. As the character of Sam, played by Kara Quinn Ward Tobin. She
might be adding a couple more hyphens.
That's right. She got married.
No, I've been telling Jeremy, which is her fiance, like, you know, you should just take on her hyphens too, like just both combine hyphens. You know, like.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was really cool seeing like Kara on screen, because I was like, oh yeah, like she's also like grown so much since then, and like we've all like grown so much since then, and kind of like seeing, you know, the work there is kind of like, oh, it just took me back to you know, ASU days, like all of us being like, you know, students and like working and doing whatever we can to like, you know, pursue our profession and our goals and dreams. And you know, we're all in LA now, you know, working different capacities.
It's insane.
Areas, like pursuing, you know, something special to us. So yeah, I saw you guys had on one night in October like a little action figure or something, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get action figures in this one? Like,
oh my god!
Let me get it. Hold on.
It'd be so sick.
This is actually Jessica. This is Jessica right here, right? This is a full-on like action figure, which is fucking crazy, but also awesome. So,
That's true. It's definitely like a bucket list thing to become an action figure.
Right? So and that's the goal, man. If we can get that, then we'll know we've made it. And then we are going to make a sequel. And but yeah, it's such, honestly, I like to think that you're kind of people are in the right place at the right time, and kind of they get signs. And this is the fucking Malik and me coming out watch. But you know, if like certain paths, you know, they kind of just intersect at some point in life. And I was just really happy that for this project, and for I believe any project going forward, we always say once you've kind of, you know, once you've got blood on you in one of our films, that's it. That's kind of your baptism to us. So we'll always have a spot for anybody that's done that, any of our projects. So it's, you know, we have this crossroads, and it's like our like creative lives and paths intersected. For me, it was just so cool to have you on for Omega, and just the way it worked out and just where your character goes. I just think I think people are going to be really excited, and I hope you're excited too. I really do, about, because
I definitely am.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. I think you're going to be proud of it too. I think it's we're excited to see it's nice.
This is going to end up being the first like shot in my acting reel forever.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
I know these characters get to take a journey, like each of them, I think, which is really cool. And so, you know, we'll see where your journey goes.
And it's funny you mentioned, Chris, about like the odds of like, oh, we move here, then move there and come back. And I've also like another small world story is like, I remember I reached out to Jessica like about working on a project with my brother that he worked on.
I remember.
And then like, sure enough, like I see some ad listing about somebody looking for an actor, reach out to them. And it was like the same director that worked with Jessica was a project that I got to work on with Charles. And
I like tagged you guys in his post. Like I legit was like, when you mentioned the actors, I was like tagging the people I knew. And then, like you said, it's full circle. Like he worked on that one and that's how I knew him. And then you worked with him. And I was like, yeah, these small, tiny worlds. And you got to work with Eric on that, who's also like our really good friend, that was in this too. Like, it's one of those where I'm like,
oh yeah,
small little circles.
I heard about this. Yeah, that's right. I remember hearing about this. That's cool. That makes me happy. That makes my creative heart happy.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, like the Malik and all of us, like the universe, kind of gives you what you're looking for, and kind of like putting it out there. You just kind of keep gravitating towards the people around you. They're all pushing for the same dreams or same goals, and just this project is one that like I'm very proud of. Excited that got a chance to work on it with you two, and
I'm glad you guys are proud of it. But I mean, is there anything about the episode we want to talk about? Because
real quick, I have a question. If the way that episode 2 ends, right, is that we get this lady in the park that's like giving Morgan creep vibes. I'm just wondering how you think either you or Malik would react if they were in that situation.
I think I would immediately call Daniel. So I'm like, and take footage and be like, look, there's proof. Look at my phone. Like, look at this video. Something's going on. People are changing. And like, I would,
Daniel would just be like, it's a person in a park.
Right?
It would be so
go back to the library. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Well, Belle, thank you so much for taking time out of your night to talk to us. Thank you so much. We enjoyed it. I can't wait to see where your character goes, and I hope you're happy with it. But I mean, that's it. Just everybody who's watching or listening, please continue to stay with us.
We get a new episode every Friday. You can go to omegawebseries.com to watch it. You can subscribe on YouTube to Carter Inc. Films and watch it there. We have an Instagram. We got a Facebook, so you can find us. Keep watching.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's right. Have a wonderful night, guys, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.